Okay, let's do chapter 10, large motor center. Now, most programs aren't going to have a large motor center. You're going to do your large motor activities either in your big room or your gym or outside. So we'll talk about it sort of more focused that way. We're going to understand how large motor activities work. Um, we're going to learn how to set up a large motor center, promote walking activities, running activities, riding and driving activities. Obviously, as you're working with young children, their first large motor development is going to be walking and then running, jumping. And then we're going to talk about riding and driving and how that's important. Jumping, hopping, balancing, bending, creeping, crawling, stretching, and throwing and catching. And climbing. With some people, you don't have to promote that at all, especially people who are in the toddler range are fantastic climbers. And then we're going to talk about our role as teachers and assessments. So we know that young children love to move. I had I used to have a map of like a 15-minute section of an 18-month-old's day, and it just tracked where he went in the classroom, and it was all over the place. They love to move, and we should encourage that. Our entire society is becoming more sedentary, meaning we sit around too much, and especially right now we're just sitting down all the time. You need to do things that are going to appeal to all children, and your outdoor and gym time need to complement your daily program. So, what they're encouraging in your textbook is that you set aside time in your day every day for large motor activity, which I think is a fantastic idea. Um, and you need to be able to engage all children and have children be creative in their large motor activities and then show kids how to do it. All right. So, walking up and down the steps, walking or marching in place, a walking rink, setting aside a place in your room where you can walk, like a skating rink, um, colored tickets for designated motions and a name chart, all of those things were reminders for kids of what to do. And then animal walking, using different ways of walking. Excuse me, dinosaur feet, right? We would, during our dinosaur topic, walk like dinosaurs. We would measure the length of a dinosaur on the floor and then have kids walk it. Any way that you can have them move around, right? And include all children. Children who have difficulty walking, figure out ways to include them as well. Same with running. Now, the thing is, you need to set aside a specific place for this running to happen because you don't want running to be an activity that seems to be encouraged throughout the classroom, right? So, how do you do that? How do you make sure that they know that this is when we run and where we run, and this is not where we run and where we don't run, right? Having them walk like different things to move their bodies in different ways. Um, uh, all of the driving things. Make sure you have appropriate driving and riding vehicles for your kids in wherever your large motor space is so that they can do that. Jumping, setting aside specific places and encouraging kids to do it. One thing that we had in our big room where our kids went for their large motor time was a bulletin board for the teachers, really, that had a whole list of things that kids could do in that room. So it wasn't that the teachers were standing in the corner talking on their phones or talking to each other while the kids just did whatever. They had organized activities that they could do. It's really important that, one, kids have free time to do what they want to do, but also you are utilizing that time in the big room or outside at the playground to encourage specific activities, right? Balance beams are super fun, and you can just use a 2x4 on the floor. It doesn't have to be set up. If your kids get better at that, and it can also just be a strip of tape on the floor, then you can put blocks under your balance beam to make it higher. Setting up obstacle courses, kids love obstacle courses. And it can be things like putting a ball in a bucket and then running to the next spot and touching a star up on the wall, so that they're getting these, big movements that they wouldn't usually have. There are all kinds of ideas in your book. This is why I really like this book, because it includes really concrete ideas of what to do. Having one of those tunnels, they're like a big slinky, right? That you can fold up and then open up. Those are really fun for kids. Of course, you want to sing songs while you do all this stuff, right? Stretching, have your kids do yoga. There's all kinds of yoga stuff out there for kids. There's a really great DVD, and you may be able to get it online too, of ABC yoga. So you're doing different, it's ABC animal yoga. You're doing different movements to match with alphabet letters, to match with animal sounds and names. So there's a lot going on there. And you can find all kinds of these things all over the internet. Throwing and catching, using, you can stuff tights or nylons with cotton and make balls that are very easy to throw and catch and not dangerous. Set up a throwing booth, we did this for ages in my classroom at one point, set up a bucket or a laundry basket, just let kids throw in it. And as they do that, teach them how to do hash marks. So, oh, you got one in, make a hash mark, count to 5. They're learning a lot, right? All kinds of other climbing things. Be careful with climbing, make sure you're there. Dancing, have kids just dance, maybe after your snack time, when it's a time when people are doing all different things in the classroom. Some people are washing their hands, some people are going to the bathroom, some people are cleaning up, whatever. Turn on music and everybody dances. At one point, we did a survey of parents, and the parents said, why did the teachers all seem kind of angry when we pick up the kids at the end of the day? And so we instituted dance time. So for the 10 minutes before parents came to pick up through the last parent, they just turned on music and danced. And you know what? The teachers looked a lot happier. What is your role in large motor? Your role is to make sure that everybody's okay, and to encourage kids to go, to scaffold, to see, oh, I can see that you can climb this thing. Why don't we try this one? I'll hold on. I'll make sure that you're okay. Using observation checklists so that you can see who can run, who can jump, who can climb, who can, stretch, whatever. And I guess that's it. So it's not hard to get kids to do large motor stuff, but you should make it an intentional and planned part of your interaction with kids. So as you're planning a topic area, for instance, as you're planning a theme, think about, what are the large motor skills that I can include in this? So if you were doing, let's say, pies, how could you have everybody lie down like pieces of pie and walk around in a circle like a pie? How can you incorporate large motor into the themes and topics that you're doing? And how can that large motor also encourage other learning skills? So there you go. It's not just all swinging or going up and down the slide. There are all kinds of ways that you can do large motor with kids. And I really encourage you to look in your textbook, because there's great lists of stuff to do.